What's up? I'm Dan Random, and I just wanted to show a recent modification that I did on my Trailblazer. So, not long ago, I had to replace my upper, and I believe I replaced the lower radiator hose, but at the same area that the leak was happening with, the antifreeze leak, I also noticed a bunch of power steering fluid. So, I cut the low pressure line and I ran a hose and all was fine with that until, I don't know, a day later when the high pressure line also broke. So I could not replace the high pressure line with just a regular hose and a hose clamp because, well, there's way too much pressure. So I looked into replacing the lines, and that just seemed like a really big mess. And also another thing, the lines run along the frame. You can see where I took off one bolt right there. And I'm not sure if I can get a good... I think somewhere over here, the bolt is actually still stuck to the frame and it's rusted and it's not coming off. So I thought running the same OEM type lines in the same area just seemed kind of silly. So now replacing everything to original would have cost me, I don't know, maybe 70. That would have been just replacing the hose actually that ran the high pressure hose portion. I guess I would have had to replace lines too, so I really don't know how much money it would have totally cost in the end. I decided to look into replacing the high pressure line with something industrial. So I found a place over in Pottstown called Clark, and well, they had like everything there. It's a really cool store. But anyway, I called them up and they told me that if I brought the fitting from the pump side to them and the fitting from the rack side, they could put a hose together for me and I would be done. And so anyway, they came up with this hose, and also they came up with fittings that can come off of each end. So if this hose ever happens to burst or leak or anything, I can just take this hose off and go replace it. Now, this modification cost $150, but to replace this hose next time I think would cost half that, if I ever needed to. This hose is actually rated for, let's see, how many pounds? 3,050 PSI it says. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, so this thing only requires 1,200 to 1,500 pounds, I believe. So I don't think this thing's going to burst anytime soon. It should last the lifetime of the vehicle. So I just wanted to show that power steering modification. And by the way, it works great. The power steering feels smooth as ever. And I did not replace the pump or the rack, just all the lines with hoses.